How to gain a resignation from a well poisoner. This is so simple, yet so many companies don't do it. And the answer is the application of your organizational or your team's values. Yeah, values. What do I mean by that? Well, so many organizations have a set of values. They're usually 5 or 6. Hopefully, they're just very, very short sentences. And in some cases, they put a lot of work in defining those values, and then they leave them on the table. They leave them on the table. And that's the problem, because that's only half the job done. If you want to have those that don't fit in to the organization that you're creating or the team that you're creating, if you want to have those people who don't fit in realize that themselves and leave voluntarily via resignation with no fuss, you need to expand those values a little bit further out. And in what way do I mean that? I mean, you then need to identify a set of behaviours that shows that people are living to those values. For example, the most classic one is there's usually something about professionalism in there. We're a professional team, or we're a high quality team, or we're a team that delivers. There's something like that in there. Underneath that, you need to have a behaviour, something along the lines of, that means we're a person of our word. That means that when we say we're going to do something, we do it. Now, straight away, that means that you're professional. You're someone who can be relied on. You're viewed as a professional. I'm a person of my word. And then you become a team of your word, and then you become a company of your word. Wow. So you start defining what the behaviours are under each value that would mean you are that person, you're being that person, you're displaying what that person is. Then you set up a reward and recognition system for that behaviour. Now, that can either be formalised on appraisal forms and performance management and all that kind of thing, but to me that's a bit too clunky. And also, appraisals are only done twice a year, once a year. No. Let's have something more immediate, more today. The best companies I've seen implement this is by recognition, monthly recognition. So people get a certificate or a small award when they have been a person of their word, when they have put some effort in behind being a person of their word. So say they made a commitment, it will be in 2 weeks' time. That was a serious commitment that had a sort of ramifications elsewhere. Things got a bit difficult, so they pulled rabbits out of the hat to be a person of their word and to deliver it in 2 weeks' time as they said. Then you'd give them an award because they pulled rabbits out of the hat for that, and they held that behaviour, that value of professionalism, despite it being hard. Now, what you need to do, one more point. So many companies and teams don't do this. I was listening to a podcast with Brené Brown just recently. She was on a podcast with Simon Sinek and Adam Grant, both organisational specialists. Look it up. It's a podcast called Dare to Lead. So look it up if you want to check it out. Now, she goes into a lot of companies to talk about values. And in her experience, only 11% of companies who have written their values have actually translated them into behaviours. Only 11%. And then get this, 0% in her experience have included those behaviours in some kind of reward and recognition scheme. Yeah. So no wonder values are meaningless, because they're not alive. They're not being lived. They're not at the front of everyone's minds. So you either do the full job, don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. Don't have values. It's hypocritical to have values stated up there on your wall and then not do anything with them. It's totally hypocritical. And people will lose trust in you as a team and as an organisation because, yeah, they're just words. They're meaningless. There's no consequence. There's something in there about professionalism. That's one of the most unprofessional people I've ever known, and yet nothing's been done about it. You will lose trust. You will lose respect as a leader. So you either do it fully or you do nothing at all. Now, it takes a bit of time to do it fully, added to which, in devising your values, identifying the behaviours, and then choosing some kind of reward and recognition, you need to include the full team. You need to include all staff. These values and definitions need to be theirs. They're not yours as the boss or the leadership team or the manager of the team. Not yours. Now, there's not going to be a great deal of difference between what you would devise and what the team is going to come up with, but there's a very subtle psychological difference. The values and the behaviours will be theirs. And when it's theirs, they are committed to the hard work of carrying it out. Being a person of your word is actually quite hard. That's really quite hard. You've got to think, you've got to stop people pleasing, and you've got to think, oh, can I make it by next Tuesday? And to make it by next Tuesday, what do I need to move around? So it's hard work. You're asking them to do something really quite hard. But imagine what it's going to be like when the people in your team and or organisation start doing what they say they're going to do. Oh my gosh. It's like night and day. It's like, whoa. Just imagine what you can then do. No more chasing up, no more persuading. When they say something, they do it. Now, it takes some time to do that. But once you've got the team owning the professional behaviour, the respectful behaviour, the positive behaviour, all these gorgeous things that they've identified that they want to live up to, that they want to be seen to be delivering, the well poisoner doesn't fit in anymore. They can't work because the team, in actual fact, has joined together and is completely against them. They are ostracized. They are sent to Coventry. And they resign. Yes. So not only do you get rid of the well poisoner, you also, in this work, have developed a great team that now delivers what it says it's going to do. Hallelujah! This is gold. And there's two companies I've studied who have, who's written a book, whatever. There's two companies I've studied who have done this, who have succeeded in identifying the team values. In both cases, the well poisoners resigned. And in both cases, the bosses said, yeah, when we did all this work, there was lots of discussion, there was lots of that. We got some resignations. And then they stopped and said, but it was the right resignations. That's what you want. Oh. Now, of course, there's quite a bit of work in all of this. It's not just as simple as that kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. And it takes time. But you can do it. You can do it. And this, to me, is the real work of leading an organisation and building a team. So you can do this at the team level as well. You can pull your team together and say, okay, guys, what are the values we as a team want to espouse? What do we want to be known for? You can do it as a team. You can do it as an organisation. And the difference it makes is huge, absolutely huge. And suddenly, it looks like magic. It looks like the team just creates its own energy is positive, is going in the right direction, is happy, is being recognised. It looks like magic. And all your job is, as the boss, is to point them in the right direction and say, okay guys, that's where we need to go. And they'll go, oh, okay, and they'll start delivering it. Yes. Are you up for this? Seriously, are you up for this? If you are, send me a note. Just say, I'm up for it. Send me a note. Okay. Take care now. Bye.